Howdy YouTube, today we're taking a look at the Jax UFC, the phenom Vitor Belfort. In addition to this review, I'm going to break down what I thought of UFC Fight Night 77, Vitor, Dan Henderson 3. Amazing fight. If you don't want anything spoiled for you and you haven't seen it yet, skip it forward to when I take a look at the back of the packaging and open this guy up. In terms of the actual event itself, not too bad. I mean, there were some great fights. Glover Teixeira, the fight he was in, wasn't bad as well. But for me, it was all about the main event. Really excited to see Vitor win. I'm a huge Vitor fan. He's been doing it since he's 19. They call him the Phenom for a reason. He's just got great punches, great kicks, just great strikes in general. Certainly a really explosive and exciting fighter. I know he gets a lot of criticism for the TRT and cheating and that sort of stuff, and certainly don't condone that. But for some reason, I still love him. I still think he's fantastic, and it's great. He finally proved a lot of people wrong by getting this win tonight. Pretty much clean. So that's really encouraging. Just Dan Henderson, freak to be 45 years old and still doing what he's doing. I know he trained with Randy Couture, and I don't know if some of that rubbed off on him or not, but to be 45 and doing what he's doing, Dan Henderson, absolute machine. Vitor as well, 38 years old. He always manages to stay, and I guess he's consistently stayed on top of the UFC for just forever, really. I mean, like, he's just a phenomenal athlete. Really cool victory. Very happy for him. Now, in terms of the figure itself, it comes in the standard UFC octagon-style packaging. This is, of course, Series 9, so it is the last of the UFC Jax figures that were released. Nice shot of Vitor there. I think it's a little bit interesting that they chose to go with his attire from UFC 103. Gave him the facial hair. But anyway, let's get this guy opened up out of packaging and hopefully give you a cool review. And taking a look on the back, we see the other figures in the set, of course. Brock Lesnar, that's an amazing figure. Shogun Ruha, which I will review for you guys at some point. The Tito Ortiz looks like an awesome figure. I really want to review that. Vitor, and of course, a classic Pride, Vanderlei Silva. So great lineup of figures. It's a real shame that the Jax UFC line never sold, extremely well. And I guess that's a big shame because they made some amazing figures. In terms of stats, obviously, it's broken down there for you. What has it got? Submissions, 47%. Vitor Belfort's game. I think that would change quite a bit more to the striking aspect, especially after the fight with Chris Weidman. A lot of people think, Vitor got destroyed in that. I think the fight, and Charles Sonnen said this as well, and I agree with him. There were two elements. There's the stand-up element, of which Vitor smashed Chris Weidman, busted him open, kicked his ass. Then there's the ground element, where Vitor, who's supposed to have a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and as you see the stats there, 47% with submissions, did nothing. He absolutely nothing. So I don't know what that was about, but at least he had a strong performance at this most recent event. So let's get Vitor opened up. Just before I get onto the actual figure, one thing I think is awesome is this shot of Vitor at the back of the card. I think it's really nice they went to that extra effort to have an actual shot from the fight. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, and here we have Vitor opened up and out of packaging. Now, this is a really cool figure. Lots of nice detail, I guess because of all the tattoos and things like that. One thing that is a big shame, his legs are ridiculously wobbly and loose. Look at him dance. Which is a real shame. A little bit upset at that. Also, just due to the age of this figure, whatever paint they've used for the trunks has yellowed quite a bit. But anyway, I'll bring it forward so you guys can see. I think they absolutely nailed the face of Vitor Belfort. Definitely looks like him. I suppose you can always remove the facial hair if you prefer him without it. But yeah, pretty happy with that. Taking a look at the side. Most fans would know he's obviously very religious. Just so you guys can see the tattoos. Paint on the actual fingers and hands is really runny and poor. one's kind of cool. He's got a lot of bloody tattoos, I tell you. On the back as well. Like a lot of tattoos. Anything on the legs? He's got that one. Yeah, cool. Now, in terms of articulation, he comes with a ball-jointed head. He comes with the standard UFC arm articulation. Ball-jointed shoulder, swivel in the bicep, bend at the elbow, swivel in the wrist, swivel in the hand. Ab crunch, which is, oh man, rock hard going forwards. Swivel in the waist, ball-jointed legs, ball-jointed thighs, swivel in the feet, double bend in the knee, and then ball-jointed ankles. So great range of articulation with these figures, which is always good to see. But yeah, I mean, if you can find this guy, I was lucky enough to actually pick him up pretty cheap. I have seen him advertised fairly expensive on eBay and Amazon. Stay away from that, unless you're a diehard Vitor fan. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about this. I'm really happy with it. I'm hoping that there's something I can do to tighten up the joints on this, because it is ridiculously loose. If you guys watching have any ideas, please let me know, because that would be appreciated. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this review on the Jax UFC Series 9 Vitor Belfort.